Hello viewers and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And this evening, let us focus on this question. Was the announcement to abandon or to abort the 2030 agenda not deception? And the answers are here. We are going to make sure that we bring the characteristics of ZANU PF people out into the public. Go back to 2017 and before. Emmerson Mnangagwa could appear as if he was a victim, as if he was not going to do anything against Robert Mugabe. General Chiwenga, the kingmaker of the coup, also maintained the same position as if he had anything or had nothing to do with that coup, which came in 2017. But look at the history, how some operations were being done, some demonstrations against Robert Mugabe, how they were happening, some coordinated attacks online on Robert Mugabe, the Baba Jukwas, everything else. Let us take a look onto this statement first.
The situation is tense in the country.
There's nothing tense. Situation very well. It's only tense in the minds of mad people.
And about reports that the military plays a role in the succession issue in Zimbabwe. What's your comment?
That's absolutely nonsense. We keep our. I've already said in my statement, go to section 212. We are there to not only to defend the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country, but we are the principal organ which will uphold the constitution of the country. Period.
So this is what General Chiwenga said when he was still the army general. He said that he was not going to participate, or the army was not going to participate in succession issues of ZANU PF, but said we were going to uphold the constitution. He reaffirmed that position then. But years later, months later, fast forward to November 2017, he came publicly, held a presser, was holding a constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe, which clearly states that the vice president serves at the mercy of the president and is appointed by the president, which means the president can decide when to appoint a vice president, can decide when to remove a vice president. Emmerson Mnangagwa was fired by President Robert Mugabe. That was constitutional because that is what the constitution said then. How did the military then step in? If they were constitutionalists, how did they step in? He lied on camera. VP Chiwenga lied on camera and dismissed the succession battles and said it only appears in the mind of mad people. But fast forward to 2017, who was mad then? So Emmerson Mnangagwa has given a similar statement. Let us hear. So this is what Emmerson Mnangagwa said today. He said that we are lawyers and we stick to the laws, but that is not true. If you read the constitution of ZANU PF, it's more vivid than any other constitution you might think of in terms of what must happen. The ZANU PF constitution is very clear about how national elections must be conducted, but they are doing opposite. What they declared in the constitution and what they are doing, using and abusing their institution and forming mapazi akaita sana FAZ. It's against their constitution to conduct elections in such a way, but they're doing it. So if they're doing it to their own party constitution because they want to stay in power, what about to the national constitution? Let us revisit 2018 elections. They were not conducted fairly. Let us go to the 2023 elections. There was no election to talk about in 2023. Absolute no election to talk about because FAZ was firmly in control of everything and made sure that the people in or the opposition could not participate. So this is something which is very, very, very interesting and very important, which we need to note at this point in time. That whenever you hear them speaking about constitutionalism, inongoriye kungotaura pamuromo chete, they will never ever practice constitutionalism. They don't know the meaning of constitutionalism. They don't. So they will do whatever they can to try and create a position which is quite different from whatever we might think of. But to be honest, these people, they will do something you will never be able to understand. This is their constitution, which is right here onto the screen. And if you have time, you have to read this constitution as ZANU PF so that you understand what they have said. It's very, very, very clear about what or the aims, what they call aims and objectives. They are bastardizing each and every aim and objective in their constitution. If they can do so to the constitution, what about to the national issues? It means they mean nothing to them. To ZANU PF, national issues mean nothing. They are going to do anything to please themselves. They will be in power at will, do anything to please themselves. So if you look at the two statements, one from General Chiwenga before the coup and one from President Emmerson Mnangagwa today, you have they are similar. They are denials. Hakuna munhu achambozobuda pachena kuti 2030 for sure ndiripo. No, they will simply maintain brave faces. You will see the boys and girls on the ground and on the streets making sure that they break that constitution and without consequences. Sei vakomana vese ava vari kumhanya ne2030 agenda vasiri kudzingwa kana zvisiri pamutemo, because you are trying to portray it as if imimi kamuri vanhu vanochengetedza mutemo. Why are you not firing the people who have been spearheading this 2030 agenda, fomenting divisions? Why are you not firing them? So, the only thing they can do is to threaten journalists. They will threaten journalists, they will threaten analysts, they will threaten commentators. But they will be doing the same thing. Chavari kuthreatena vanhu nacho chinenge chichitwa mupati mavo. They don't want you to comment about those matters. So how are you constitutionalists when you behave in such a way? So in my view, I believe that this is a trick. The generals are being tricked. The general populace of Zimbabwe is being tricked. Everyone is being tricked to believe kuti vanhu ava havasi kumhanya neagenda. But they have a variety of strategies placed. So many of them. Munhu Mutapa strategy, the succession strategy, the 2030 mantra. All these strategies, the elimination strategy, all these strategies put in place, well-funded and well-oiled to make sure that they remain in power for a very, very long time. So, very sad. Mbire, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for the contributions. And we continue to watch and see the events within ZANU PF. So the two videos must be guiding, must show you how these people are not sincere. The actions of their supporters and their people tells a lot. Look at how Tendai Chirau was running that slogan. Akaburitsa tsinga dzese zvekuti tatoona vamwe vanga vachitocheuka cheuka kuti zviriko here zviri normal here. It's because they are known people for deception. Look at this. If you look at the strength of Tendai Chirau in this video, vanhu vese vachirova slogan iyoyo. What does it mean? Because you cannot apply constitutionalism when it comes to one issue, and when it comes to other issues you ignore. You can't turn a blind eye on these critical matters and critical issues. The first point is to deal with the real issues and real matters. ZANU PF has failed to uphold its own constitution. Research, go download the ZANU PF constitution. Read it very well. You will see that they have deviated 100% from the national constitution, from their own constitution. They have deviated 100% from their own constitution. What stops them to deviate further from the national constitution? They are clear. The constitution of ZANU PF is clear. They talk about equitable distribution of land and resources. But is there equitable distribution of land and resources? No. Their own people, it's very clear. They speak against coercive measures against the people. They speak against slavery of the people. But we are living like slaves right here in the nation of Zimbabwe, despite the existence of that constitution. So, how do you believe that that institution, which is destroying left, right, and center its own constitution, how can you entrust such people with the national constitution? So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. We'll continue to watch and see, but in my own view, this is something dangerous happening.